Lovely to see you all this morning. Take a comfortable seat, and then once you're in your seat, just bring up palms down to the lap, facing up, and allowing your eyes to shut. Now, a few moments to follow the flow of your breath into the body and out of the body. Without actually feeling you have to do anything other than be present and witness each breath as it comes and as it passes. Giving yourself time and space to fully arrive and to listen. To listen to the feeling tone of the body, the physical body and the emotional body. And allowing that to flow through you. To be present. As this inner landscape shifts and changes within your consciousness. And the flow of the breath, bringing you into this moment, the present moment. Bringing your attention. And we'll open the eyes again when you're ready. And we're starting this morning coming down onto the spine. Feet are hips width apart from one another. And we roll down onto the spine. We're going to come into a moving bridge for a few rounds of breath. So knees up to the ceiling, walk them back in towards yourself. So your feet are more or less underneath the knees. And kind of feel whether they're hips width apart or not. Breathing in, as you root down into your feet, we'll lift the knees up, the pelvis up, and we'll arrive into a bridge. Now drawing your knees forward, give yourself a breath or so here. And then on the next out breath, you can start to lower the body back down again to the floor. Another in breath, lifting up into another bridge. Just holding there for a couple of rounds of breath or so. Feel both sides of the body as you do so. So just notice any imbalances one side to the other. The next round of breath and out breath, you're coming back down to the mat. Moving into the next round. And then moving back down, the next out breath. We'll take the knees now into the chest and hands on the tops of the knees, fingers apart, pointing away from you. Take your knees into a few small circles in one direction. Now feel contact between the calves, the thighs, and the knees. So your knees are working together, one entity. We'll reverse that direction, the opposite way. Then hands still over the tops of the knees. Breathing in, we'll just ease the knees away from us. The elbows all straighten, just a little bit of a micro bend through the elbows. Out breath, drawing the knees back into the chest. A few rounds of breath. In breath, knees away, and out breath, drawing back in. Again, feeling contact between ankles, inner edges of the knees into the thighs. So you feel that sense of symmetry through the body as you move from one to the other. And we're planting the feet down now, knees are up to the ceiling, and taking the arms out to either to the sides of the body, your palms are up, or else into a C shape. We'll take the knees, again working them together over to one side. Look down the other arm. And then, again, contact between knees over to the other side. And your gaze down the other arm. Move from each side one more time, to each side one more time. Back over to the second side. And then we're just going to move from side to side for a few moments. So often holding, now finding that range of movement, both knees together again though. Really do use your ankles, shins, calves, thighs. To encourage kind of like fine control, as it were, fine tuning the control through the legs. And then we'll arrive back, all of us, to the center line. Right knee hugging in now, interlace fingers, place them on the shin, draw that left, I don't know if I said right or left knee, doesn't matter which one you start with, draw one of the knees into the chest, stretch the other out to the floor. Now landing it on the floor, point your toes away from you. Flex the toes up, that's in the outstretched leg. Toes away, toes up, and lifting the heel of that elongated leg just a fraction off the floor, if that feels comfortable on the lower spine. Now breathe into your belly here to support that lift. And bending the right knee in, or the opposite, the elongated knee in, we'll stretch out the other leg. Interlace fingers again over the top of the shin, stretching out the opposite leg. Point the toes away from you. Take them back in. Toes away. And back in. And then you may be comfortable lifting that elongated leg just a fraction off the floor. And again, you're using your belly to support that lift. Breathing your whole way down the stretched out leg, all the way down into the heel, the foot. And then both knees coming in. Now a little bit of rocking from side to side again. And then hands behind the backs of the knees now. A little bit of rocking forwards and backwards. Just massaging out the lower spine. Going to start to make this a bit more vigorous now, the movement. The legs can swing and straighten. And we're all going to start to lift our way up into sitting. You can just hover your knees, the feet just off the mat. Let them hang there. Now, easy here to have a bit of a slouchy back. We lift up into the spine. Draw up, belly to spine. Breathe in. Knees to parallel, legs to parallel with the floor. Breathe out. Legs come down. Squeeze them into the core. In breath. Feet to parallel. Out breath. Feet hanging down. One more round. And we're all arriving, feet down to the floor. Now we're arriving into butterfly. So knees coming to the sides of the body, hands just down to the feet. And you can just gently ease the soles of the feet, most prize the soles of the feet, up towards the ceiling. That lift for your shoulders as you do so. Just massage your way down along the feet. Do around 3 rounds or so. 3 times walking your thumbs down the feet, encouraging them to open up to the ceiling. Lovely. Then knees together, support them in, and hands by the hips, stretching out the legs out in front of you. Breathe in, lift up through the spine. Squeeze your shoulders back towards one another. The chest is open, feet tucked up, ceiling. Another in breath and out breath. We're folding forward, hands remaining where they are. Another in breath, lift up. Do the same. Just going to shut the curtain behind me. It's lovely sunshine suddenly, but I'm aware that I'm kind of not really showing up. I think that should be a bit better. So lift up into your spine, breathe in. Squeeze in, shoulder blades together, breathing out, folding. Keep the hands where they are, feet still easing in towards the body, toes flexed. In breath, we're lifting up again. Now, this time we're going to plant the hands down, lift up into your shoulder blades, breathing in, keep as much of the heel of the hand prized down towards the floor. Arriving your forward fold, look forward. And then a big circle out through your arms, almost like you're gathering something very massive up. Hands will come forward, either to the legs, the floor, feet, into the forward fold. Keep that circular movement through your shoulders though. You'll know if you're there, because if you can bend your elbows out to the sides, you'll see that circle. And then, wherever your hands are, we're now going to do little rotations through the base of the spine. Nice long deep breaths. You do those little rotations, little circles. And then you can take your rotations, your little circle, the opposite way. Make sure you've still got the circle through your arms, through the elbows. Another out breath. And then we're up into sitting again. So bending your right knee in, hands around the shin of that right knee. Now we're going to take that circle now into your hip flexor. So if you think the hip joint is a ball and it sits in its socket, and we want to work that ball all the way around its socket. Stabilize that. You're going to keep a strong right leg. And you're going to make sure this movement is almost like stirring deep into a saucepan full of porridge oats or something like that. So quite a dense substance. You really want the spoon of the lower thigh bone down here to be stirring into that cauldron. Don't want the top of the spoon, the knee, to do the stirring. Another breath or so. Take your circle back the other way. Keep your right leg active as you do so. So it's quite a simple movement here, but a lot's going on when you kind of slow it down to really feel your way into your body, into your joints. Almost like you're giving yourself then a bit of a massage from the inside out. Lovely. Right foot now is going to connect to the left thigh wherever you feel to it. If you want to put some padding underneath that left knee, excuse me while I do so, then do so just to support that lift up. So you're not putting any pressure this morning on that knee joint. Left foot's in breath, facing the right leg, hands either sides, breathe in, lift, out breath, folding. You can walk your hands little by little bit of bend through the elbows, so just as we were before. Few rounds of breath there. Feel the opening through your hip flexor rather than worrying too much about where the knee is. And in breath, lifting up. So we're stretch out now that left leg, just like open, bend it, straighten it, a few rounds of breath. Straighten out the knee joint. We catch hold of the left knee now. With the left elbows, you're kind of cradling it. You're holding the right foot with the right hand. And you're taking those circles out with that support now. Circles the other way. And left leg stretching out. So coming onto the right hand side now, bending the right knee up and in towards the chest. Just hug it in for a breath or so. Straighten out through the left leg. Make the left leg as strong as you can there. Hands then behind the back of the thigh. And you're taking Few circles through the right leg. Now imagining again the spoon, you don't want this knee, the top of that spoon, the handle of the spoon, to do all the stirring. You want the stirring to come deep down in your hip flexor. Work your way the whole way round the socket of the hip joint. When you've done a few rounds in one direction, you can do the other way. And when you've done that, we come then into the forward fold. Right foot now is connecting to your left thigh. Again, use any padding you need for that right knee. You want to kind of have that little bit of height on the right knee. In breath, hands either sides of the left leg. Breathe in, bring your circle into the arms. Breathing out, folding forwards. So don't worry too much about here. This morning, you know how big a shape you're creating and all the rest of it. Feeling your way into this minutiae, almost of your joints, what's going on at these points of connectivity within the body. Just looking to open up the range of movement, receptivity to the movement of the body in those points of the breath. And then lifting up again, we cradle the right knee and the right ankle, the right arm, the right elbow, that's the word. And we're lifting up the left foot. And now you're doing a little bit of stirring. Again, with the right leg. Strong left leg as you do so. Take your circle the opposite way. And then, arriving back, right leg now, stretching it out and back in. Do straighten it out, bend it a few times, realign the knee socket. Start to lift up through your spine as you're doing so. Both legs stretching out. So arriving in Dandasana, just lift the flesh away from either buttock so you feel nice and anchored down. Hands can be by the sides of the hip, but it's a light touch through the fingertips. They're only just there really to give you that sense of perspective of the body. You don't even have to have the hands there. Now, lower vertebrae, start to lift them up. Draw up through your spine, all the way up. Slight drawing back through the shoulders. Head level. Feeling the body engaged, muscle groups engaging and breathing. Two more rounds of breath there. That lift up through the spine. And then a big in-breath, the arms will float up. Out-breath, you're reaching forward past the legs. In-breath, arms lifting up. Out-breath, reaching forward. And hands will come either sides of the feet. Again, bend your elbows out to the sides. We look over to the left side. We look over to the right side. Do one more round, both sides. And arriving back in your center line, breathe in, lift. And out breath, arriving in forward fold. Just letting the spine hang now, the head hang. but keeping that circular lift through your elbows. The spine bowing between the elbows. Walk both hands now to your little toe edge of the left foot, and from there, legs still stretching out in front of you, keep them engaged. We're walking the hands over. Make sure your feet don't follow at all here. So you really are taking your spine into a twist. Then we can lift up a little bit in that twist. Strong, strong legs. Legs working together. Knees working together. Slide the hands over to the little toe edge of the right hand side. Gain strong legs as you walk your hands over to the right. Keep the legs as strong as you can to really feel connection between the inner edges of the feet together, the knees together, thighs together. And left hand coming out to the other side of the body, both hands on either sides, lift up the spine, out breath, hands coming back to the hips. Come down onto your spine again, hands beneath behind the thighs, we rock forwards, backwards. This time we're going to come up, we're making our way to standing. So the feet will come down, and then you're going to find your way up and into a forward fold. So feet, hips width apart from one another. Really anchor them both down. Use your hands even to pad down the feet. And having your hands on the feet, then just explore the range of movement out to side, getting a bit of sway through the body, a bit of opening through your shoulders. And your knees bent as much or as little as you need to. We catch hold of a big toe pad, second and third finger underneath the big toe, and your thumb on the inner edge. Now again, you can put that bend into your elbows out to either sides of the body. As you forward fold, draw the spine down. For the next in-breath, the slow rising up into standing, roll your spine up. And you're arriving into Dasana. We'll take the feet together into Dasana, connecting the big toe pads, heels. Lift up through the legs, feel your knees connect, thighs connect. Palms facing forward. Roll the shoulders back. Head balanced on the top of the skull, on the top of the spine. And a big in-breath, and the arms will start to float up. We'll take the gaze up as the arms float up. And with your out-breath, a slow rolling down, swallow diving down and into your forward fold. In your forward fold, we're now going to swing each arm in turn. In-breath, the right arm will float out behind you. Then you'll swing it forward. Doesn't matter how far it goes. Just want to get a nice rhythmical pace though through the right arm. Really loosen up the shoulder joint. And right arm will come down. We'll do the same with the left arm. your breath flowing. It's almost like your breath then is like your oil, lubricating all the joints, letting the body open a little bit more easily and fluidly. Left arm will come down. In breath, we're off the spine forward. Draw your shoulders back as you do so. Hands coming down to the mat, and we'll step back into down dog here. Now we're going to bounce on the balls of the feet in down dog, a bit of bend through the knees, and with that bounce, feel it there, going to start to draw your thighs up and back. Still keep that contact through the balls of the feet. You can check you have, because your toes will be able to lift up even though the feet are down. Root down into your heels of the hands, root down into the heels of the feet now. Open the shoulders. And in breath, we're going to draw the spine forward and we're going to hover the knees just off the mat. So they're not touching unless you need to bring them down there. They're just hovering ever so slightly off the mat. Now, strong belly here, lift up and back into your down dog. Root down into your heels again. And we come forward again. Keep the spine nice and strong here, the belly strong. So you're not kind of bowing the spine, dipping the spine. Knees are hovering. And the knees will come down. Now, knees arriving down. Cat and cow the opposite way to which we might be used to, starting in tabletop, a nice neutral spine. With your in-breath, start to curve the spine up, tuck the sit bones under. Breathe out now through the mouth. As you move forward. Another in-breath, curving. And out-breath through the mouth. Few moments here. We'll take one more. Now, bringing the spine forward, you're in tabletop. Start to draw your chest down, hovering it just between the hands. Push back up again into all fours, onto all fours. May need a tiny bit more space between your hands to do that. It's obviously building quite a lot of strength through shoulders, upper body. Hover down the chest again. Root it back up. This time we're going to come back down with the chest, but this time we're going to slide down and onto the belly. Stretch out through your toes. Now, toes tucked under, root back into your heels, so really strong legs there. And then knees down and point the toes away from you. In breath, arms come out behind you, the palms are up, and we lift up into locust. Legs are lifting, chest lifting, hands lifting. Next round of breath, and we're all arriving back down. Now turning your head to one side, letting the weight of the body settle on the floor, and then turning the head to the other side. Just note the differences from one side to the other. Back to your centre line. Now you've got a choice here. You can either do the same locust again, or else you can do a moving locust. So all start coming up, legs up, hands up. If you want to move now, in breath, reach the arms in front of you. Out breath, out behind you. I was just pausing, in the locust, the stationary one. We'll do a couple more rounds. In breath away, out breath back in. Last one. Hands underneath the shoulders now. We'll bring the feet down. Just root down the chin for a moment. And from here, we're coming into a cobra, both feet pointing away from you. From the feet, follow the line of the body, both legs. Start to peel your spine off the floor. Make sure the shoulders relax, still that little bend through the shoulders and the elbows. Breathe in and out breath, folding all the way back down. Do another cobra, slow motion. Both feet pointing away from you, follow the line of the body. Start to peel each vertebrae up off the floor. And start to lower the spine down. Taking your skull now over to the side that feels less comfortable, a few breaths there. And then taking the skull over to the other side. Now stretch out your right arm so it's in a T shape with the body, perpendicular to the torso. Then turn your palm so it faces up, so you've rotated that shoulder blade. Using your left hand as the lever, we come onto the right hand side of the body, right up onto the hip. We then bend this left knee, take it behind the right knee. Now this left knee is like a lever. The more you open it out, the more you'll stretch into the hip. Just a few breaths there to acclimatize. And then in breath, left arm floats up. Rooting down into your left foot. Then we'll just drape that left arm behind the body. Wherever feels comfortable, squeeze into your shoulder blades. A few rounds of breath there. Can you draw your shoulders away from the neck here? Keep the length of the body. And then left hand will come down. You'll slowly find your way back onto the belly. Just pausing on the belly here, we'll bend the knees. And we're reaching the hands out towards the feet, the outer edges of the feet, if you can get there. If not, hands are just stretching out. You may even want to catch hold of a bit of your the trouser leg at the back. Now, feet are pushing into the hands as much as you can. We'll breathe in, we'll do a few rounds of breath. In bow. Pushing your hands into the feet, lifting thighs, lifting chest. And lowering back down. Once you're there, you can crisscross your legs from side to side. And we're coming on to the other side then. Feet stretching down the mat. Left arm comes out to the side of the body and then rotate the palm so it's facing up. Once you're there, we're taking the right hand down and you're slowly easing onto that left hand side of the body. Take your time to do so. And then we take the right foot behind the left leg. Now using that right leg like a lever again, closer it is to the floor, the less you'll feel it on the groin. So take your pick where you want it to go. A few rounds of breath there to acclimatize. And right arm floating up. Then from here, draping that right arm around the back of the body, wherever it feels comfortable to you, find a little space, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and just like we did on the other side, make sure you're not losing your neck. Drop the shoulders away from the neck. And when you're ready to, arriving back onto the side, onto the front of the body. A slow cobra now, as we did before, both feet stretching away from you. Start to peel your spine up. Keep that little bend through your elbows. You might take the gaze up. Just check you still got your neck back. And out breath. You're going to arrive onto all fours and then up into down dog. A little bit of bend through the knees again in down dog. Just giving you that space and strength from the body to really open out the spine. Just open out your shoulders as well. You might want to move the head from side to side. And then we'll straighten out through the backs of the legs into the hamstrings. Feel both hands, both feet, the weight of the body in between the two. See if you can take a little bit of weight down into the legs, into your heels. We'll start to walk the hands up towards the feet. They're going to arrive hips width apart from one another into another forward fold, this time lifting up the soles of the feet, planting the palms of the hands underneath the soles. You may need to bend the knees quite a lot to get there, or you may be more comfortable just holding the big toes again, letting the hands hang even. In breath, looking forward, again put that bend for your elbows, whatever version you're doing, so you've still got the looseness through the elbows, through the shoulders. And we're arriving into forward fold. So your breath settle here. We'll take another couple of rounds. Taking out the hands there, we're now going to step right foot all the way back. So you're coming into a high lunge here. You need to walk the left foot forward a little bit. So your knee is more or less above the ankle, not in front of the ankle though. Both hands either sides of that right leg, left leg. Look forward. A little bit of bounce on the back knee. And we'll straighten up through the back leg. Keep the gaze forward. Now straightening up a little bit through your front leg. You're going to come into a forward fold down the front leg. You can keep a little bit of bounce through both feet as you do this. And from here, back into Uttanasana. Right foot stepping forward, joining the left into any choice of forward fold you choose to here, but all having a little bit of bend through the elbows again. Keep the softness, that movement flow through the shoulders.
Take a big step back with the left foot. Again, you may need to shuffle that right foot forward a little bit, just so the knees and top more or less with the right heel. And again, a little bit of bend in the back leg, and we're going to bounce. So good for the knee joints, this is. This really helps kind of build up strength as well in the legs, quads, the hands, which helps to stabilize knees. And straightening out through your left leg, make it a little bit more active. Make sure there's still that fraction, that suggestion of a bend in the arms. And we'll arrive back into the forward fold down the front leg, rather than kind of locking out the joints at all. Still that little bit of a bounce through the feet in your forward fold. Still that little bit of a bend through the arms in your forward fold. And then from here, find your way back into down dog. We'll have 5 rounds of breath or so in down dog, just to really ease, open, arrive with ourselves. Okay, even in down dog, that little micro bend to the bend through the elbows. Make sure your joints aren't locking, the knees, a little bit of a fraction of a bend through the knees, rather than rigid legs, yeah? And finding your way down very super slowly, knees hovering off the floor and onto all fours. And from all fours, coming into cat and cow, pelvis tilting under, curving spine on the out breath, and in breath this time we're lengthened through. To create a bit more space within the body, you might want to bring your hands a little bit further away from the knees than you would normally. Just so there's that sense of stretching into this, having to reach for it a little bit. Just make sure you're still not locking out elbows at all as you do so. Find your own rhythm with your breath. Your flow through the body, into the body. And we'll all find our way back and into a child here. Arms could be stretched out in front of you, else you could bring them by the sides of the body, whatever you choose to. The next 3 rounds of breath or so, as we did at the beginning, giving yourself the time and space to connect with the flow of the breath. Be fully present. And from here, we're going to arrive up into sitting and taking a comfortable seat.
So when you've got your comfortable seat, do use any padding you need to under knees or anything like that. Again, we allow the eyes to shut. So we're dropping straight back into the body. We're just going to watch ourselves, as it were, from the inside. But not feeling we've got to inhabit a perfect frame of ourselves. Just noticing ourselves as we find ourselves. How the body is sitting. Within this, you'll notice all sorts of words forming. We try to define what we're feeling within ourselves. But letting go of the stories and coming back to the raw sensation. Being present. And our breath, holding us present. No past, no future in the breath. And although the thoughts, words may still want to rise up, as we sit with the breath, the feeling of the breath, its sensation within us, our attention gathers to this point of focus. And we can notice the thoughts rising without getting trapped into that delusion, in a way, the illusion that we are our thoughts. In breath, into out breath. Moment to moment. However you found this last couple of moments, infusing your breath now with well-being, letting that travel through you freely. Your body find its own healing and balance. And when you're ready, next few moments or so, find your way back and into Shavasana, into lying down, and take a few moments of rest. wherever mind is, where it may have travelled to, and guiding it back to the breath. To this moment. And becoming aware of your surroundings here, the sounds in them. Points of contact of body with earth. Air upon skin. And when you're ready to put a bit of movement into the body, bringing fingers together, moving toes. And with your eyes still shut, if you bend knees then, and take a few resting breaths on the side of the body. And rising up into sitting. So just take a comfortable seat as we close practice. And the gaze soft, spine lifting. Put that little micro bend back into the arms, the elbows. Feel the freshness of the next breath into the body. And the body releasing that breath. Into a flow of all the moments that lie ahead, bringing hands to the heart. And there, closing your practice. Thank you very much, everyone.